Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Robots in Disguise Warrior Class Windblade. For the package, you got a really cool image of Windblade on the back of the card, as well as a clamshell that allows you to fully see the figure, as well as her accessories. On the back of the package, it actually has her instructions, an image of her robot and vehicle mode, as well as her compatibility with other Minicon figures. In addition to that, it also has the instructions for adding this character to the Transformers Robots in Disguise game, which is available on the App Store as well as Google Play. But for the packaging on her, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get her out here and see how cool she actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Windblade open up and out of her packaging. Now, technically, this is the second time that we've gotten this mold for this character. The first time being the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Titans Force set. But that coloring was much different. It was designed to kind of mirror Fort Max because she's a city speaker, so they, went with that kind of route. This is how she more or less appears in the cartoon for Robots in Disguise. And first and foremost, the paint detail is a little bit lacking, I think, on this, but I don't think it's really all that bad. I think they did a good job of capturing it. But the overall mold for this, I feel, is vastly superior, and I even said that in the original Titans Force review. This is a much more amazing figure than what we got for Windblade with the Generations line. Now, coming in to take a closer look at her in her jet mode, as you can see, like I said, she pretty much has that cartoon sort of look. It's not really absolutely accurate, but I think they do a fairly decent job. I don't really like how they got this color of a maroon and then this bright of a red. It just kind of stands out. You got some nice blue on here. You got a dark, almost purple kind of color here. I mean, you got black here and such. That kind of looks like it's purple, honestly. You got some black sections here for the windows. You got some silver. As you can see down here in the bottom, she does have her little landing gear that can just fold around. Now, for weapon storage, you got the little sections here between her legs that you just take this and you put that right there, and you can have like a little rail gun thing on the bottom. I actually kind of like how they have this like skid plate. I don't know if I really noticed that before, but I mean, she does kind of balance fairly decently, but it is a little bit more wobbly, I guess. But you do have weapon storage for her sword. The little thrusters here, as you can see, can rotate. She is one of those vertical takeoff airplanes, so you can have the little thrusters down like that, and it goes, and then these can rotate forward, and then it goes around. These little pieces here, this is kind of tough to get into, but these actually do rotate. I think they do. They did on the other. Oh, that's just stiff. Okay, so they do rotate, but it's not like you can just hit them and make them go spinny, spinny, spin. It is a little bit difficult to kind of get in there, but you can see that they do move around. She does definitely have visible arm and hand syndrome here in her jet mode, but like I said, I think all in all, this is a better, more cohesive looking figure than that Generations one that we got. Now, transformation, I might as well show it because it is fairly simple. We have looked at it before, but all you do is you just kind of just make these wings go here in the back, lift this section up, and then you rotate this around so that this whole section can actually clear her head. Detach these arms from the side. Take these little, kind of get that out of the way. Lift this, come on, there we go. Lift this whole section up and then hinge that there, and then that sits right there. Okay, so that's what you do there. Then separate these legs, rotate these out, do that on both sides. Those will kind of tab in, and the knee section, rotate here at the waist, take these little feet, rotate these around. And very simple to transform her. I mean, that's why I'm showing it, and then you can take that and put that back there. But there you have Windblade in her robot mode. And despite the fact that paint-wise she's not really exactly accurate to how she looks in the cartoon, I think that the paint detail is actually still really good on it. I do wish there was some extra paint details that were added, but for a retail figure, I think they actually did a fairly decent job. Also, the mold on this figure, as I talked about, is far superior to the other deluxe Windblade figure that we got from the Generation line. There's just a better overall presence to this toy. A lot of the downfalls that Generation 1 had have been fixed in this, especially in the leg area. Taking a closer look at her accessories, like you could see before, you can plug this into the underside of her jet mode, and it kind of replicates like a railgun or something, but then it also does have a blade on the inside. It's all just in this black plastic. There is no paint detail on there. That's a little bit unfortunate, but you do have some nice sculpted detail. Like on the inside here, you can actually see a little blade thing that's kind of similar to what she's got on her wings. Some paint would really make this stand out and make it look really very nice. And then coming in to take a closer look at the figure, she's actually got another accessory that's kind of hidden. But this little back fin section here actually can detach, and there's a little bit of a handle actually on there. So you can put it in her hand. It takes a little bit of finesse to get her to do it, but you can actually use that now as like a little blade weapon, something that apparently she does in the show. I think that in taking it off, it makes her head look a little bit weird. I kind of like leaving that on there just because, and really pretending that detaches, but you can see some nice painted detail with some sculpt work actually on there, which looks really good. Paint detail wise on her face looks really nice. You got that nice white paint with the red lips and then the red section coming down for her eyes, and then you got nice blue paint for her eyes itself. So overall, paint-wise, on the head, it looks phenomenal. Coming down to the rest of the body, though, it starts getting a little bit lacking. The wings, I don't mind all that much. It would be nice if there was a splash or something on here. The shoulders look okay. You got some nice blue paint here. You do have just that little sticker section there for the chest. You got some silver kind of down here for the abdomen. I think that the paint that I would really like to see added would be in her actual forearms. As it is, it's just this red plastic. The SDCC version actually put some extra detail in there, which made it look really good. And then when you come down to the legs, you got this dark plastic right here, you got the blue, and then you got this really kind of maroon color. It just sticks out from what we have up here. I don't particularly like that. But in general, again, really good looking figure. The backpack obviously is there, but I think that it's mitigated a little bit. I don't think it really sticks out too terribly much, but the overall profile for the figure does look really very good. And then, like I was talking about, her ankles are just so much better. She stands so much easier. Now you can also take her sword sheath thing here, and you got little tabs here on the side that in a jet mode the arms actually peg into, but you can take this. This is actually a little bit tough to do. It's almost like the peg is a little bit too big for the little slot right there, but if you force that in there, you can actually get her with a little side weapon, which works good for a sword. I don't really think there's anywhere that you can put it, like to have it in the back or anything like that, you know, where it would be, I guess you could just kind of wedge it right there, but no over the shoulder kind of thing. For articulation, the head is on a nice ball joint, so you get a nice range of motion. One thing that I will say is that this detaches really easily on this one. That's probably why I didn't notice it on the San Diego Comic-Con one, because it doesn't come off very easily on that one. This one does. So you get a nice range of motion with, and I did detach that again. So that's, yeah, a little bit troublesome to kind of fiddle with. The shoulders here are on nice ball joints, so you get a full range of motion there. You have a bicep swivel that is really stiff on it. You got a single hinge here for the actual elbow. You can rotate her at the waist itself. The hips here are on very nice ball joints. You can actually even use that to kind of get a rotation in the leg itself, but then she also does have a swivel at the midpoint of the thigh. She's got one joint here at the knee. I guess you could kind of say two joints if you completely detach it from where it's supposed to be tabbed in. And then I guess you could kind of say that she's got a little bit of an ankle tilt forward and back, but again, that's mostly just part of the transformation. But in general, I really do like the way that this figure turned out. Then for a quick comparison, here she is next to that San Diego Comic-Con version. And again, like I said, just an overall better paint scheme on the SDCC version. Like I said, you got some nice extra paint detail kind of put on here, mostly in her hands. It just kind of breaks up that overall single color there. You got a little bit better of a sticker there as well. And then the legs, I think, just overall have a better presence. The blue here matches the blue on the rest of the body. So, while I think that this is a better painted figure, I think that both are still really good. And obviously, this one is a much more accurate representation to the cartoon. And then as a deluxe size figure, you can see that she stands at a little bit over 5 inches tall. Now the transformer, again, really very simple transformation process. First, kind of pull this away, and then you can bring this around and tuck it over her head, and then you can bring that down just like so. Take the waist section, you can spin that around just like that, and you can actually then, if you want to, kind of tab these arms on the inside here, just squeeze that in on those little slots here in the upper part of her thighs. But you do have to kind of rotate things around sometimes to make sure that you get everything properly situated with that whole pegging in process. Kind of rotate that like that, bring these up like so, and then you can spin these around, getting that up underneath there like so. Do that on this side, then angle this up like that, then bring these two halves together, kind of get that all the way up there. So then you just squeeze those legs together just like that, bring this whole section back, slot that down there. You can then put these down. You can position these little propeller things wherever you really want them, but when you're done, there you have Windblade back in her jet mode. But as I said, overall, this is a much better figure for Windblade than that original generation figure was. The paint, while not entirely accurate to how she looks in the animation, doesn't look all that bad. She could benefit from some extra paint applications just to kind of break up some of the red on her, and then the maroon on her legs does kind of stand out. But all in all, for a retail figure, I think it actually looks really nice. And for me personally, why I don't have a display for my RID figures, this is actually one that I could work into my kind of classics display. From her beginnings as a fan-created character, she really has come a long way. I mean, we got her in comic books, we have her in a new cartoon series, we also have her in the Transformers Earth Wars game, and recently we've gotten her in the Machinima Combiner Wars series, which if you want a review for that, I'm not going to give it to you, I'll just tell you, that's basically what I think of that. So it's really cool to see more actual character development for this fan-made toy. But I like her, and I think she's a fun figure to pick up. So if you're looking for her, she is hitting various retail locations right now. So good luck and happy hunting. Or as always, there's Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do for that is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can check out availability on her, as well as the rest of the Transformers Robots in Disguise figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video to please like and share it. Also be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you never miss a future review of mine. And as always, until next time, be excellent to each other.